My name is Glenn Theobald. I'm a retired chief with Miami-Dade Police Department, retired in 2010. I began my career with Miami-Dade back in 1983 as a road patrol officer, and I worked as an officer on the street in northeast portion of Miami-Dade County near North Miami Beach, Aventura area, and worked in that district station for about a year and a half on the road. And then I had an opportunity to work as an investigator, a detective in the same district station in northeast area. And I became a general investigations unit detective. I handled property crimes and burglaries and thefts and assaults and batteries, things of that nature that stay within the district stations in Miami-Dade. I did that for about a year and a half as well, and then became a corporal and went back to the road for about 8 months. And during that time I had taken the sergeant's examination, and after the 8 months I was promoted to sergeant, maintained my position on the road, went to midnight shift in the same district, in the northeast district, and worked the road patrol as a midnight supervisor, a sergeant in charge of a squad for about a year and a half. And after that period of time, I went back up to general investigations and then supervised a detective squad for about a year as well. And then I had an opportunity to go to internal affairs, and I became a sergeant in internal affairs and handled cases down there for about 2 years until I was promoted to lieutenant. During this first portion of my career, I had the opportunity to go back. I had gone to college for a short period of time, had about 60 credits, and had the opportunity to go back and get my bachelor's degree. So I did that. I graduated from Barry University and with my bachelor's degree, and at the same time I became a lieutenant after I got promoted out of internal affairs, became a lieutenant on the department, and had the opportunity to get my master's degree from University of Miami. The department had a program called Excel, and I was able to take classes in that and do that while I was working, and finished my master's degree in a couple of years as a lieutenant on the department. I worked as a lieutenant in the property room for about 8 months, then went to narcotics and worked the street level narcotics. I was in charge of the North Dade, they called them the jump out boys. We used to handle the buy bust in the area of Carroll City and Norland and all the hot areas up in the northeast portion of Dade County, or north portion of Dade County. During that time, I had an opportunity to go to the training bureau after my tenure was up with the narcotics, because there's a high stress level with the narcotics, street level narcotics, and I was able to work that for about 3.5, almost 4 years, and then had an opportunity to go to the training bureau. And also the opportunity arose to go to law school, something I always wanted to do as a child. I idolized a television character named Perry Mason, who was an attorney and always seemed to win cases every episode. So now looking back, I understand why, because it's TV. But it was always something that I wanted to do, and being in law enforcement, it was kind of like the next logical step to do, aside from promoting within a department, was to go to law school and get a legal education and be able to use that throughout my career as well. So I started University of Miami Law School in 1997, and during that period of time I was at the training bureau. So I would work from 7 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, leave work, go straight to the library, study for 3 hours, go to class for 3 hours, go back to the library, study for 3 more hours until they kick me out of the library, and then go home, get a few hours sleep, and start all over again the next day. And that was pretty much my schedule for the next 3 years as a lieutenant, and going to law school at University of Miami. I did have an opportunity then to study for captain, and took the examination and finished high enough on the captain's test that the promotions came out about 6 months after I had graduated law school and while I was studying and preparing to take the bar. So during that time I was promoted to captain, transferred back to the district station, and I actually started my career in Northeast Dade and became a captain there, and which is the executive officer of the station, second in command of that district. At the time we had about 220, 230 people at that station. I took the bar examination, subsequently passed the bar examination, became an attorney, and during the same time, about a year or so later, same district station, I was promoted to major and became the district commander of Northeast District, again, the same district that I started my law enforcement career with, Miami-Dade County. As a major, I was responsible for everything that occurred within that district station, and we were responsible for about 100,000 people that lived within Northeast District, now known as Intracoastal District. I was responsible to create programs and crime prevention plans that we used not only in Northeast-Dade, but we used with the municipalities, because within that district there was 16 different municipality and municipal agencies, law enforcement agencies. So it was one of those things that where you needed to work together in order to solve and fight crime, because a criminal doesn't really care if they were in an unincorporated area or within a municipality where they're going to commit their crime. And it was invariably the same people that were committing crimes in our district station as opposed to North Miami Beach or North Miami or Aventura. So it was the same folks that were running in that Northeast-Dade area. So I came up with programs where we used, and I reached out to all the district stations and all the other agencies within our area and used these programs and had our officers work together in coordination and kind of erase those boundaries where you say, oh, well, that's not my city, so I'm not responsible, because you know what, it's the same person that's committing a crime in that city that's doing the crimes in unincorporated Dade. And during those periods of time, I received a number of awards, National Association of Counties, for our comprehensive plan to combat crime that was very successful and reduce crime in the areas between 25 and 30% all across the board, not just one particular crime, but all across the board. And it made it a safer place and a better community while I was up in Northeast-Dade. Right after 3 years or so, Director Parker, who was the Miami-Dade sheriff, tapped me to become his legal advisor down at headquarters, and I was moved from Intracoastal down to the legal bureau. And at that period of time, I was responsible for 12 attorneys and a number of sworn staff to provide legal advice to the director, to command staff, be responsible for legal notes and bulletins throughout the department, updating new legislative changes, legal changes, and making sure that the officers had the best available information based on the current cases that came out that affected law enforcement, whether it's search and seizure or any number of things that law enforcement is responsible for. That period of time, the director wanted me to also get involved in the legislative process. The former major that was in the legal bureau spent a number of months in Tallahassee with the legislature trying to enhance law enforcement laws and statutes and goodwill with the legislators to try to enhance us doing a better job. And that was one of the things that I did, and it actually snowballed from that point in time. The director saw the need to enhance the position that I was in and make it a chief's position, and thus promoted me to chief and made me his chief legal counsel and the chief legal counsel for Miami-Dade Police Department.